T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected to his.
King Harris, just 21 years old, the son of Atlanta legends T.Y. and Tiny Harris, is fighting for his life tonight. What went down inside that Georgia facility wasn't some random prison scuffle. It was a cold, calculated setup meant to leave him dead. Medical reports reveal horrifying details. His skull was cracked open by what doctors call a lock-in sock, a padlock stuffed inside a sock and swung like a weapon. Multiple bones in his face were shattered, and by the time officers reached him, King was already lying unconscious in a pool of blood. But here's the part that's making everyone's skin crawl. Internal documents show that every single security camera in that cell block mysteriously went dark just minutes before the attack. No footage, no witnesses, just pure silence and chaos. Now the big question is, how does something like that even happen?
To coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
King wasn't some violent inmate or gang leader. He was only doing a short sentence after his September 2024 arrest for DUI and failing to appear in court. Something about this whole situation just doesn't add up. King's case had been minor, just another small-time charge until everything flipped into a brutal, deliberate act of violence. What makes it even more chilling is the timing. Just weeks before the attack, he had celebrated the birth of his first son, a moment filled with love and pride, shared all over his family's social media. But that joy turned into heartbreak fast. Within days, the new dad was hooked up to hospital machines, barely hanging on. The contrast is haunting. A man who just welcomed life into the world, now fighting to keep his own. County records confirm that King's time behind bars started quietly, no cameras, no headlines. But inside sources are now saying he might have drawn the wrong kind of attention by speaking up too much about what really goes down inside those walls. They say he wasn't scared to talk. Word is, King was calling out guards for sneaking in contraband and letting shady deals slide while pretending not to see the corruption right in front of them. One insider claims he was getting ready to hit up his lawyer about filing an official complaint, but maybe that talk got back to someone who didn't want those secrets out. Was this whole attack a warning to keep him quiet, or was someone sending a bigger message? Either way, the timing couldn't be worse for the Harris family. T.I. and Tiny are already under heavy fire, juggling their own legal drama from earlier this year. Their long-running defamation battle with influencer Sabrina Peterson just found its way back into the spotlight again. Peterson tried to bring her 2021 lawsuit back from the dead, accusing the couple of misconduct and reputation damage, but the court shut down her appeal.
The arrest isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, you know, he just don't care.
Still, before that happened, she threw gasoline on the flames by reviving those old, messy allegations. She linked the Harris family to claims of trafficking and coercive behavior, accusations they've always strongly denied. But Peterson didn't stop there. She promised to drop what she called receipts, and when she started posting again, the internet went wild. Her posts reopened every rumor, every whisper from the past. And when news broke that King had been attacked, social media lit up. People started tying the timelines together, wondering if his beating was connected to the bigger chaos surrounding the family. There's no hard proof yet, but the noise online keeps getting louder by the hour. And to make things worse, the prison's explanation for those missing surveillance videos isn't calming anyone down. Officials claim the blackout was caused by a power relay glitch, but former prison employees are calling that story nonsense, saying a total camera failure across all units is nearly impossible unless someone cut the system on purpose. Something's not adding up here. The timing here is just too wild to brush off. The so-called camera malfunction started exactly 6 minutes before the attack and ended 5 minutes after medics showed up. In a facility where every hallway is supposed to be under 24/7 watch, that kind of blackout feels way too perfect to be random. Even state investigators are whispering that this failure raises some serious questions about what really went down behind those walls. And then there's the weapon, proof that this wasn't just a heat-of-the-moment fight. The medical report confirms it. That lock and sock wasn't some quick grab, it was built ahead of time. Someone planned this, hit it, and swung it with deadly accuracy. That's why so many people are calling this a setup, a straight-up planned hit. A few inmates claim they heard King arguing with someone earlier that day, but none of them are talking to investigators officially.
To do that if it wasn't for Family Hustle.
Right.
Now, it does come with some, it's some adversity. It's some adversity to come with that. People get in your business.
One insider said straight up they're terrified to speak out because people vanish for less. And get this, right after the attack, certain guards were suddenly reassigned to new posts. That's raising eyebrows everywhere, with whispers about an internal shakeup the prison doesn't want to admit. And while the truth's still buried, public support for King is blowing up fast. People are demanding answers louder than ever. Outside the hospital, the scene is emotional and tense. Crowds of fans have been showing up night after night, holding candles, chanting King's name, and demanding the truth. T.I. has only spoken briefly, telling reporters he wants truth over revenge, but you can see the pain in his face. Tiny, clearly shaken, posted an emotional message online, begging everyone to keep praying. But behind those calm public statements, insiders say the family is boiling with fear, anger, and deep suspicion. Some close to them believe this wasn't random at all. They think King was targeted for speaking out about what really goes on behind prison walls. Others whisper that the beating might have been a warning shot, meant to send a message straight to T.I. himself. He's got a long list of powerful enemies, from the music industry to the legal world, and that's got everyone wondering who might have had a hand in this. Adding another twist, sources say King had been trying to turn things around before all this went down. Just weeks before his arrest, on August 21st, 2024, he appeared on Regina Carter's podcast, full of confidence, saying he wanted to be bigger than Michael Jackson. He talked about becoming a better man and embracing fatherhood. It's heartbreaking. He was trying to rebuild his name, and now his life's hanging by a thread.
Don't do. It opened up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in, chime in, and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or should or shouldn't do. But I will say this, whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual.
Music and redemption. Those words from King hit differently now. Hearing them back feels almost chilling. A young man talking about his future, not knowing that future was about to crash down just weeks later. Less than a month after that podcast, Dunwoody police picked him up on an old warrant. And once he was moved to Pickens County, everything flipped upside down. That quick shift from confidence to catastrophe has become the fuel for all the wild conspiracy talk flooding Atlanta right now. People close to the case are whispering that King might have been under quiet protection from certain officers until he opened his mouth about what he saw behind bars. Others are saying the hit came from inmates connected to outside crews, using King as leverage to pressure his father during a tense legal moment. No one's been able to lock down the truth yet, but every unanswered question makes this story even darker. Even when the Harris family tries to focus on love and peace, it somehow circles back to the chaos. Just a few weeks before the attack, T.I. and Tiny were celebrating 15 years of marriage, posting happy videos from Thailand, writing about how love can conquer anything. Now, that message feels almost too real, because their love's being tested harder than ever. In just a few short weeks, that picture-perfect happiness the Harris family shared online turned into full-on crisis mode. Now fans are zooming in on every post, every emoji, every caption, trying to decode hidden meanings. Some people even claim Tiny's message about love winning through the tough times wasn't just sweet talk. It was her quiet way of saying the family was already under serious pressure. What makes everything even more chilling is the pattern that's starting to show. The Harrises have weathered plenty of storms before. Accusations, lawsuits, messy rumors, you name it. But this?
Graduated. That's the only good thing they posted of me going viral. I'm not on the media's good side. I don't know why, but it ain't.
How do you feel with, because now that the evolved T.I. is also the even more of a father T.I., because not only are you just a father, you have to be a father in the industry, because all your kids are in the industry.
Man, damn. Yeah, that's I ain't see that.
Time it's different. The pain is physical, the proof is visible, and the silence from officials feels way too controlled. It's like someone's trying to keep a lid on the truth. Sources say state investigators still haven't dropped one single report about those so-called camera malfunctions. They keep promising an internal review, but nobody's holding their breath for quick answers. Meanwhile, word is the family's done waiting. They're beefing up security and gearing up to hit the facility with legal action. Online, the whole thing has exploded into a full-blown cultural flashpoint. Some people are riding hard for the Harrises, saying they're being targeted because of their past. Others are pointing fingers, insisting this chaos didn't come out of nowhere. The divide is deep, and the tension's only getting louder. The secrecy around this whole situation feels way too calculated. It's like every unanswered question feeds the next wild theory, each one sounding crazier, yet somehow more believable with every official silence. The talk of a planned hit might sound extreme, but when not a single authority can explain what really happened, rumors rush in to fill the gaps. And right now, those whispers are echoing through hospital halls. King's still in critical condition, fighting for his life. Sources say doctors had to perform emergency brain surgery to relieve the pressure, and while his pulse has stabilized, he's still not responding to commands. One doctor reportedly described his injuries as consistent with multiple strikes while restrained. If that's true, this wasn't a fight, it was a punishment, a message delivered with brutal precision.
It takes trying to take shit I done did and be like, nah, it ain't good. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that.
But without the camera footage, proving any of it becomes nearly impossible. Now the quiet moves happening behind the scenes are making things look even sketchier. Rumors are swirling that several staff members have quietly been put on administrative leave, though officials refuse to name anyone, hiding behind privacy laws. Insiders, however, claim the list includes not just guards, but also supervisors, people who should have been protecting inmates, not covering up chaos. That silent reshuffling is adding even more fuel to the fire. Behind closed doors, even longtime correctional officers are calling this whole incident a black mark on the department. Something deep and dirty is being buried, and the longer they stay quiet, the more the world starts to believe the worst. What's impossible to deny now is that King Harris has become way more than just a trending headline. His story sits right where celebrity power, broken systems, and raw family tragedy collide. It's no longer just gossip. It's a mirror showing how fame and corruption can twist together in the darkest ways. You can feel the tension in every public statement. Officials stand at the podium promising transparency, yet walk away offering nothing but polished words and empty updates. The Harris family, once celebrated for their flashy lifestyle and reality show charm, is now stuck in a reality nobody would ever sign up to film. With every passing day, the pressure builds, and the questions just keep stacking higher. Who told the guards to stand down? Why did the power relay fail only on King's cell block? And why on earth was a non-violent inmate thrown into a unit packed with known gang members? Those aren't coincidences. They're puzzle pieces in a picture that's starting to look planned. One former associate of the Harris family told us something chilling. King was loud about things he shouldn't have been.
Gorgeous. He was like, so I was kind of like, we exchanged numbers and we ended up meeting that same day. We went to a $3 cafe. We talked and we kind of got to know each other a little bit over some wings. And from there, we kind of like just played phone tag for a minute and finally.
He didn't understand that some secrets keep people safe. That quote has been echoing across social media, adding to the fear that this attack wasn't random. It was a warning. Maybe to King, maybe to his parents, or maybe to anyone bold enough to speak against the system. Tonight, as investigators keep arguing over the missing footage and fans keep lighting candles outside the hospital, the truth stays locked behind walls of silence, and the world's still waiting for someone to finally break it. The pattern is crystal clear now. It doesn't just look like King Harris was attacked, it looks like he was silenced. The real question everyone's afraid to ask out loud is who wanted him quiet, and why now? This feels way bigger than one night of violence behind prison walls. What happened to King seems like the newest twist in a long, messy saga that's haunted the Harris family for years. Every scandal, every lawsuit, every headline about drama and danger, it's all built a dark cloud that just won't stop following them. And now, with King lying in critical condition and no straight answers from officials, that shadow has come roaring back to life, louder than ever. T.I. has never exactly lived a quiet life. He's faced his share of headlines, from gun charges to courtroom drama to the reality shows that painted him as a changed man trying to rebuild his image. He's always called himself the King of the South, but now that title feels like it's carrying a heavy curse.
And assaulting women. Rapper, actor, and businessman Clifford T.I. Harris, along with his wife, Tamika Tiny Cottle, they're being named in a massive...
And the most damaging chapter didn't even come from the music. It came from a courtroom. Back in 2021, entrepreneur Sabrina Peterson accused T.I. and Tiny of horrifying misconduct, even claiming that T.I. once pulled a gun on her during an argument. Her defamation lawsuit turned into a public circus, filled with shocking claims about manipulation, control, and betrayal. That case might have faded from headlines for a while, but now, with King's brutal attack bringing the family back under the spotlight, people are starting to connect dots that the Harris camp wishes would stay buried. The Harrises stood firm, denying every single accusation that came their way. When the judge finally dismissed Sabrina Peterson's lawsuit, T.I. called it his vindication. But even with that legal win, the allegations never truly disappeared. They kept floating through the industry like smoke, whispered in back rooms and reignited every time the family tried to move forward. By 2024, the tension had turned straight toxic. Peterson lost her appeal to bring the case back, but she didn't back down. She hit social media claiming she had receipts and that federal agencies were already sitting on what she called evidence. The timing of it all feels downright eerie now. While the internet was buzzing over her renewed claims, King Harris was already locked in a county facility just weeks away from the night that would change everything. It makes you wonder, if the courts couldn't bring T.I. down, did someone decide to hit where it would hurt most? Through his son? That idea doesn't sound so far-fetched when you look at how deep the grudges in this business can run. The Harrises have made enemies at every level. Former friends, old collaborators, industry power players who felt crossed or betrayed. And just as T.I. was hyping up what he called his final album, The King, his real-life heir was ambushed inside a locked facility. The symbolism is almost too heavy to ignore. Was this just a coincidence, or was someone trying to turn that very title, The King, into a chilling warning about how fast power and pride can crumble when you've made the wrong enemies? Or maybe this was fate's cruel way of mocking the man who once crowned himself royalty. The timing of everything is bone-chilling.
I really admire his dedication and commitment to the craft, because, you know, I kind of told him, you know, what was wrong about
T. I had already started promoting his new album, doing interviews about letting go of ego and closing out his King era for good. But just days later, his own son, King Harris, was fighting for his life. That eerie overlap has everyone questioning if this was coincidence or a carefully delivered message. People close to the family are convinced this wasn't random. They believe what happened behind those prison walls was straight-up message delivery. Some insiders are saying that powerful figures connected to old scandals wanted to remind T.I. that fame doesn't make you untouchable. Others whisper that people inside the facility got paid off to make sure the cameras went dark, so officials could twist the story however they wanted once it hit the press. The prison silence is only making it worse. Every single request for footage has been met with the same tired line: technical malfunction. But no one's buying it. Experts say there's no way a modern surveillance system, built to capture every move every second, just collapses across multiple units at the exact same time. The warden keeps pushing the power relay issue excuse, but engineers familiar with those systems swear that kind of synchronized failure doesn't happen by accident, it takes human hands. One former corrections officer even told us flat out, somebody cut that feed. And if that's true, it means someone inside that prison had both the access and the motive to make sure the world never sees what really happened to King Harris. The deeper this goes, the clearer it gets. This wasn't just violence, this was control in motion. We've seen this kind of shady pattern play out before. Big names get caught in chaos and suddenly the evidence disappears, paperwork goes missing, and official stories keep flipping like pages in a script. And now it's happening again with King Harris. The official story around his attack has already changed 3 times in just 48 hours. First, they said it was just a scuffle between inmates. Then, out of nowhere, it became an altercation over contraband. Now it's being labeled an ongoing investigation. Every new version makes the Harris family's claims of a cover-up sound less like paranoia.
For your kids in your eyes,
what does success look like for my kids and my doing what they love and earning a living, like being able to take care of themselves, doing the things that they love, the things that fulfill their passion. You know what I mean? Allowing them to follow their dreams. and just create.
And more like plain survival. And while the authorities keep hiding behind polished policy statements, the Harrises aren't sitting back quietly. Sources close to Tiny say she's already brought in private investigators to rebuild the full timeline of that night, minute by minute. She wants receipts, not rumors. Meanwhile, T.I. has reportedly tapped into a team of attorneys who specialize in corruption cases, a serious move that shows this family's done playing nice. They're not just hunting for the person who attacked King, they're digging for the chain of command that let it happen. Every clue, every lead feels like another step toward a bigger truth the system doesn't want exposed. You can practically feel the tension closing in. A father known for his defiance, now staring down a machine that might have turned its own cameras off to protect itself. And through it all, this tragedy isn't just threatening T.I.'s peace. It's starting to stain his legacy, dragging the King of the South into a battle even he might not be able to control. T.I. once said in an interview that calling himself the King of the South put a target on his back, and now that line hits like a prophecy. In this industry, being at the top doesn't just bring fame, it brings enemies. And the Harrises have stacked up more than a few over the years. Even after their courtroom win earlier this year, the storm never really cleared. The same old accusations kept swirling online, this time tangled with spite, jealousy, and a thirst for payback. The brutal attack on King might not have been just about punishment. It could have been about perception, a chilling reminder to everyone watching that the Harris Empire isn't as untouchable as it once looked.
Steve Sadar reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadar that my clients want justice. So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny.
You should be rapping about the things in your life that you have in common with other people who may not live.
Someone wanted to make a statement, and they made sure it was heard loud and clear. What's really disturbing, though, is how fast the system seems to be brushing this off. Instead of outrage, there's silence. Instead of answers, there's avoidance. It's like they want the world to forget this ever happened, but the public isn't letting go that easily. No press conference, no statement, no follow-up, not even a hint of when or if that missing footage will ever see the light of day. The silence from the prison and the investigators isn't just suspicious, it's explosive. It's got people thinking this goes way beyond one family, one facility, or one violent night. Because if the Harris family's suspicions are right, then this cover-up isn't about saving reputations, it's about protecting powerful names the public hasn't even heard yet. And that's what makes the image of T.I. standing outside that hospital so haunting. Just a father waiting for his son to wake up, knowing that every unanswered question pulls old ghosts right back into the spotlight. This wasn't just an assault on a young man, it was a message carved deep into a family's legacy. A cruel reminder that fame doesn't erase the debts of the past. It just makes them louder. But here's the question that keeps echoing. If this was retaliation for something buried long ago, how far does it go? Could the truth about that night inside Pickens County expose something the public isn't ready to handle? Or was King Harris just another victim swallowed by a system built to protect itself? We want to hear from you. What do you think really happened here? Was this just a tragic prison failure? Or a warning shot aimed straight at T.I. himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is nowhere near over. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment to keep this conversation alive. Stay tuned, because when it comes to Hollywood, fame, and hidden power, one thing's for sure: the truth never stays buried for long.